Hello, gamers! This is GT Gaming Den with The Lobby. I'm getting my co-host to be a slave for me for the next few seconds and get me some soda. But, yeah, we are here with you today to talk about Insomniac games again. Talking about Spider-Man and the upcoming game, The Wolverine, if that's what it's called. But, yes, it'll be a couple seconds. He's taking a sweet ass time pouring me a cold, delicious, unhealthy beverage. You better not be filling that fucker up all the way. I swear.
I thought you wanted it all the way.
No, you fucking asshole! Do not fill it up all the way. Jesus Christ! I should have fucking done it myself. This is what I get for trying to command him like a slave. Thank you, kind sir. Go ahead and introduce yourself so you know.
But there ain't nothing to introduce.
Okay, there we go.
I mean, we're just talking about Wolverine and the upcoming Wolverine game, your expectations and my expectations for it.
Oh, God.
The upcoming Spider-Man game and our expectations for that, too.
Yeah.
So, which one do you want to start with?
Well, I have the feeling you're probably more excited about Spider-Man, so we'll talk about
I am not more excited about
Really?
I am way more excited about Wolverine.
Oh, okay. How come?
Because I've never got to play a good Wolverine game.
Well, all right. Yeah, that's true. There's only one game that I can think of that is probably like the best Wolverine game, and that's X-Men Origins Wolverine because it has a unique place in history because it's one of the few instances where a video game did better than the movie that it was based off of.
Yeah, but didn't you say in the game, like, so when it comes to this game, right? I'm pretty sure I already seen that it's going to be rated M. Thank God.
Thank Christ.
But when it comes to the gore of the game, how extreme was it in the X-Men Origins game? I mean, like, like a dream game, you're seeing like his whole body limbs, not like to Deadpool levels regeneration.
No,
but like you're seeing like his skin completely get taken off and stuff.
Let me preface it by, all right, X-Men Origins Wolverine game. So the movie came out in 2009, so it's safe to say that came out 2009 as well. So that's 13.
That was a horrible movie.
Yeah, but the game surprisingly did fucking better. All right, so what? This is the game, right? So let's look at the... All right, so remember, 7.9, 77. .5 at 38%. So it's one of the rare cases where a game actually did better than the fucking movie. As opposed to, like, the movie, you know... Wait, how's it normally go?
Normally, the movie and game both suck whenever there's a...
yeah.
when they're made together. But, I mean, in that game...
Yeah.
You were talking about... I remember we were talking off the podcast about the physics in the game with the body regenerating and gore and stuff.
Yeah, well, for a 2009 game, they basically had, like, not necessarily an in-depth regenerative system, but basically, as your health keeps whittling down more and more, there's, like, chunks of Wolverine's body that gets removed to the point where you can actually see his adamantium skeleton in real time. And you just see, like, his muscle mass regenerate, his skin regenerate. So, considering it's, like, 2022, I'm expecting Wolverine to come out in 2023, 2024. I expect, like, when you go into photo mode, you'll just see in-depth, like, you'll see the veins, the blood vessels, the individual strands of muscle, just everything regenerate in real time. That's what I expect from, like, in terms of the healing factor for Wolverine. I just want to see every individual piece of his body regenerate depending on, like, how he's wounded. I don't know how in-depth it'll be, but I'd reckon with the power of the PS5 and hopefully how committed Insomniac will be to representing the character, it'll be fucking gruesome. They gotta make the most of that M rating.
I mean, with, like, the Spider-Man games and stuff, they, like, went really hard on, you know, the web swinging in the game.
Yeah.
That was their biggest point when they were making the game. So I'm like, well, the biggest point with Wolverine is his regeneration and, you know, the gory combat that's going to come with it. So I'm like, as long as the combat is in the game and the healing physics, the game probably will do good, even if it has a shit story. I mean, what do you think they're going to even do for the story? Like him in World War II or something?
No, from what I read for some articles and some videos, supposedly the story's gonna be around one of the comics, Ripjaw Island, or whatever the fuck it's called. And it was basically a time where Wolverine went undercover to, like, seek out some sort of organization. I'm not so sure. But it could just be an Easter egg. I kind of hope that it is an origin story. Unlike what they did with Spider-Man, how they basically started, like, a few years after he became Spider-Man. I kind of hope there is some sort of origin story, because I feel Wolverine's a lot more of a dynamic character to build a story around. Because Spider-Man, oh, he gets bit by, a spider, and oh, he becomes Spider-Man, he's protecting the neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of like, it's a goody two-shoe story, but with Wolverine, you have a lot of ways, especially that M-Ray, to portray some very heavy topic, like moral shit.
Well, here's a big question. I mean, we haven't done any research into the game or anything that they've talked about, so this might have been revealed already. Do you think the game should be open world? Or do you think it should be more sectioned off area level, like basically levels?
That's a very good question.
Or like mini map open world, similar to like how they do it in Monster Hunter.
Well, the whole hub thing could work with an open world by letting you have a safe house that could be filled with memorabilia over time, where you could do shit with Wolverine there. But I mean, I don't know. That's really hard, because if you pick the linear path, you could focus more on emphasizing the story and, like, showing Wolverine's, like, journey, like a more in-depth journey as time goes on. But with an open world, you could definitely have more fun just tearing people apart with his claws. But I don't know how that would work in terms of, like, what factions you could face and what abilities you could have, because he's more of a melee-centric character. With Spider-Man, he does have some range abilities. With Wolverine, I mean, unless they're going to make him use guns, which I doubt it.
Or they could give him stealth mechanics and let him go into his, like, Wolverine side. Like,
yeah, his stalking side. That's another great thing about the Origins game that I hope they kind of have in this Insomniac game is, here, I'll even show you a fucking clip. Why not? We might as well watch some gameplay. Because there's a unique ability that he has. It's called the lunging ability. And it's just really fucking cool. Like, you could just basically pounce on somebody from, like, 10 feet away and just tear them the fuck apart.
That's what I mean. Like, imagine if they do go with, like, an open world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine you're hiding up in, like...
here we go.
You're hiding up in, like, bushes and stuff. And they're just, like, lunging at people.
Like, look at that fucker. He just fucking...
Oh, dude, if they do... They could easily do what they're doing in this game with modern technology.
Oh, dude, it'd be even better.
It'd be so much better.
Yeah, but this is like more of a linear type thing. Think God of War. Like, I think there was some basis of God of War put into X-Men Origins Wolverine.
So you think like a God of War inspired gameplay would be similar to it?
Yeah, but I feel they'll definitely do something more. They'll probably be more in-depth with, like, the combat, but... I feel like with Wolverine, there could be more risks since, he has that intense healing factor, unlike Spider-Man. It's like you re-heal by pressing the down button, depending on how much adrenaline you have, or whatever the fuck it was for Spider-Man. Oh, God.
Yeah, I saw the gore.
No, he just fucking ripped them apart in half.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like, oh, I hope there's some shit like that in Insomniac's version.
They could really take it to, like... Because this came out in, what, 2009?
2009.
Yeah, with... modern technology with Wolverine, it could really... Thank God they're making it, M-rated. What are the games that become unrated? What is it, X-rated games or whatever?
No, A rating. Those are like games that have like rape or like heavily simulated sex. I think it's called adults only. Adults only.
Well, they may even make a Wolverine an adult-only game, just for blood and gore only.
Oh yeah. Alright, come on. Where's an instance where he gets heavily wounded? I want to see the fucking...
There, he's heavily wounded right there.
Nah, fuck that. I'll just fucking look it up. Why not? But, yeah, I don't know. Because, like, there could be some benefits of... Here we go.
If they made it open world, where would they... Well, you say it was being placed in a Yeah, I could just look up the comic book and see what it was like.
Yeah.
So what was the comic book you said they're basing it off of?
It's something about like Ripjaw Island or something. I don't know. Like I forgot exactly what the name is. But I mean, with an open world, there could be like a lot of cool shit, like collectibles relating to outfits or comic books or mementos from Wolverine's past. Like flesh out his story, take out outposts or whatever. I don't know.
Oh wait, yeah, it's gonna be an open world on an island. That's what it's gonna be.
It could be.
I feel like Insomniac's been trying to lean towards doing more open world games as a whole. So, I mean, you have Spiderman was open world. Even their Ratchet and Clank, they made like a huge open world area for that game.
Right. But ooh.
See, now I'm just imagining this with modern technology, and this would actually look insane. Because like you'd probably be able to see the muscular definition and stuff way better.
Yeah.
It wouldn't look glossy. It would actually look like matted and stuff.
I don't know if this is on.
You could see his rib cage.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if this is on PC or PS3, but oh yeah, you can definitely see like some huge chunk of his skin getting blown off.
Just running into it because
running into fucking missiles. Yeah, why not? This is definitely a fully leveled up player because he's just not taking any damage at all. Dude, you can see like his whole skeleton.
Yeah. I mean,
and this is like fucking 2009.
I'm not gonna lie. Now that I'm watching this, if they don't improve upon this feature in the new Wolverine game, it'll be very disappointing. I feel like.
Damn.
Yeah, that's definitely. But is there any other features you hope to see in the game?
Definitely a huge suite of like combat abilities, especially if it's something similar to Spider-Man's combat, with, like different ways to take him out with your adamantium claws and shit. Like definitely, like special finishing moves and shit. That'd definitely be kind of cool. Since he doesn't have like the swinging abilities of Spider-Man, definitely some vehicle type stuff. I don't know what his preferred vehicle will be. Probably definitely a bike.
Yeah, I was gonna say a bike.
Yeah. But what about you? What do you want to see from this game?
I just want to see a really well fleshed out combat system, like something that's way better than Spider-Man. I just want a really good there's challenge and it's not like I want it to be really challenging combat, but if you get really good at it, like similar to like Mortal Kombat and stuff, it's really hard to get good at those games. But when you get good at it, it feels so good. Like it's just really smooth combat flow. I want something like that.
Although going off of the combat, especially considering like what Wolverine is with his intense healing factor and years of combat experience, I do wonder what type of enemies we'd end up facing. Because obviously early on, you'll face the typical fucking gang members probably, or like thugs, and they'll be so easy to take down.
The final enemy, I mean, I didn't look to see who the villain was in the Ripjaw comic.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can imagine like Sabretooth.
Oh yeah.
Or Ivan the Hunter. That's his name.
Craven
right?
the Hunter.
Craven the Hunter being like the final villains or something.
Yeah, because like with something like such a huge healing factor, unless it's like really gimped early on for gameplay purposes, and you have to like improve it. Because I know there's like one way, I think, unless it was some other character, I could have sworn a way for like Wolverine to lose his healing factors. He has a whole like some sort of stone or crystal that just completely shuts down his healing factor. Unless there's like some in-game lore reason to cut that back, he's going to be considerably powerful early on with how strong his healing factor is. It might take out the challenge of the game. So,
well, no, they'll probably just for the game, his healing factor is probably going to be something that you upgrade along the way. So,
yeah,
I mean, like his healing factor. I mean, it's not going to be like the comics right off the bat, but as you like finish the character build and stuff, he'll probably be having like a whole skin off his arm be regenerated instantly.
Yeah, especially with adamantium claws, like they're so sharp they can cut through any metal. So it's like cutting through enemies would be easy.
But this is the interesting thing: is that it's like, is this taking place after he has that, or is it taking place before it?
Good point. I think in that teaser trailer for Wolverine, they did show he had the adamantium claws, but who knows? Maybe early on in the game, they could try weaving the story, because that's the thing. It's their own original story, so it can go any way. They could definitely change the story in that maybe later on in the game he does get the Weapon X treatment, or maybe he doesn't. Who knows? It's a teaser. Anything can change, but obviously it's Wolverine. He has to have his claws. But here's the real question. Is he going to be a short little imp like he's portrayed in the comics, or is he going to be like a 6'2" giant like Hugh Jackman?
No, I feel like they're going to make him short like a comic.
Yeah.
I feel like they'll do that.
I feel
like if you make him smaller and short, you can make the animations look tighter and more
ferocious.
Yeah, it looks like a little fucking badger creature ripping you the fuck apart.
Oh, did you hear the interesting story about how the original X-Men movie was made, and how when Hugh Jackman was contacted to do an acting audition for Wolverine, he honestly thought he was doing acting for an actual animal, not the comic character. So he came into the acting game, just acting like a Wolverine animal. And they're like, Hugh, that's a great impersonation of the animal Wolverine, but we want you to act like the comic book anti-hero. It was like, oh shit. And regardless, he got the fucking gig, because
yeah, nobody's gonna ever replace him.
Yeah, it's like Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. You cannot fucking replace him.
No, those characters, they did their role too good.
Oh yeah. But yeah, back to the whole open world thing. I would lean towards
open. Do you think that, because this is something that I've talked to you before on, but we see Insomniac, working with Spiderman games, now Wolverine. You think that eventually down the line they're just gonna be the main studio doing all the Marvel games?
That'd be too much on their plate. It depends on how good they do it.
But they got 2 studios, right? I believe they have 2 studios. Sony owns them now. They're getting more funding than ever. There's no reason that they can't expand their whole, process. Have 3 different teams working on games.
Yeah, but then it's just that'd be too much shit to manage, and eventually at some point the quality will dip because quantity over quality.
We know that with all those other companies.
Yeah, literally.
Oh god. But moving on from the Wolverine games, what about the Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man with Venom in it? What do you think about that? From that game, I gotta say, I like that, we get to see the same city, maybe some new things changed and stuff, but can we move to a different city? Spider-Man, not every Spider-Man story has to take place inside of the same fucking city. Stories take place outside of his city too.
New York is just his stomping ground. That's his neighborhood. That's his neighborhood that he just protects. So I guess they'll just keep it in New York for a while until they decide to do something extravagant, like the Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland, him going to fucking England and whatnot or whatever.
I'm just they have that whole open world already created, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just add in an extra open world at this point where he can fast travel between the 2 areas, or just expand the open world already.
I guess it just depends on how the story represents. I think I heard somewhere they will be adding in more islands to the map, but I'm not so sure. I guess it just depends on what else they decide to talk about in the future. But those games are probably years away, so we won't know for sure. Hell, we don't even know which one will release first. So,
well, what do you expect from this Venom game?
Black suit.
You expect to be able to wear a black suit?
Yeah.
Do you think that Venom's going to be the only symbiote in the game?
Yeah. Probably. They'll probably try and focus on him before they try and expand with other symbiotes, maybe later games or DLC.
You think we're going to finally meet the Green Goblin? Or you think they're saving that one?
Well, I don't know. There's really no hint of the Green Goblin in the first game, and it kind of seems like at the end of the first game they were kind of teasing that Harry was going to be infected with the symbiote. So chances are, in terms of facing Venom, we're probably going to be facing Harry first, unless he somehow leaves Harry in favor of, like, taking over somebody else. Like, maybe Eddie Brock will be taken over. Then it's like, when will we meet Eddie Brock in the sequel? It's like, it all depends on how they do the story with them.
You think it would be cool they add in more of like a school life? Well, no, he's grown up in the games, right?
Yeah,
he's a full-grown adult.
Yep.
Well, I mean, he could be in college still.
No, at the age he's at, he's already done with college.
Doesn't mean you can't go back to college.
I guess so, but I mean, his life's kind of set in stone.
Yeah,
so.
I know. I'm just like, well, then you also got, whatchamacallit,
Miles.
Miles, he's in school. So I'm like, you could use some like school life to introduce those new characters.
Well, I mean, again, my only experience with the first game, you played Miles Morales. Well, what was that one like?
It was like the first game, some new features, a new Spider-Man. But my issue is that if they don't add a bunch of, like, they need to add like mini games. They need to add new. They need to add a lot of new features.
Yeah,
the game. I'm not gonna lie. After Miles Morales, I enjoyed it, but I feel like the game was starting to get a bit stale. So I'm like, if they don't change things up drastically, I feel like it's gonna go downhill.
Yeah, it's kind of a state with some games and how they just remove some stuff that kind of work in favor of other things, but then by taking away some of that stuff that helped add more shit to do in a game, it just feels like there's like less in the overall package, and you're still paying $60 for it. A best case example is Watch Dogs. I've seen in the first game you have a bunch of side missions you can do between taking over criminal convoys or taking out gang hideouts, and the more you do, you unlock like more XP to level up, and you unlock special weapons. But then that feature is completely removed in Watch Dogs 2 in favor of you can just buy everything from the 3D printer. But then it's a lot harder to make money because the broken feature in the first game's not in there, so you gotta scour the whole map for money. And then Watch Dogs 3, you can't even buy weapons. They're locked behind, having to recruit the fucking people. You can literally only use money to buy clothing. There's no other use to spend money on shit in the game. I'm like, why the fuck not? There's so many uses you can use money for. Upgrading hideouts, buying weapon parts, all that shit.
You're saying they removed stuff, right?
Yeah, I have a feeling that something like that will happen, like Spiderman.
No, I don't think they're going to remove shit. I'm saying they need to add more shit. There's not enough stuff to do. Like, what I can go and take over these buildings that are being occupied by bad guys. Okay, what can I do after that? I can help a random citizen. I can stop a car chase.
Oh yeah, they'll keep something like that in because that's kind of like integral to the DNA of the character. I'm talking about like other shit, like some of the what was one of the big collectibles in the game? Was it the landmarks? They might remove the landmarks in favor of doing something else.
I don't see them really removing things like that. I think they'll change it in a way.
Yeah,
but they need to. There's not enough. I really don't think there's enough features in the game as it is. Like they need to add more to the game. There's something I feel like that's missing. Because I feel like if they stay too carbon copied and just add in Venom into this next game, right, we're going to see a huge decline in popularity, I feel like, overall.
Yeah, oh wait, no, those are his dog tags, never mind. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I don't know. I mean, we just gotta wait and see how it goes. But hopefully they do add like a bunch of new content while fleshing out the other stuff to make it a lot better. I just hope to finally see like, a symbiote suit, especially if there's something similar to one of the older Spider-Man games. There was a feature where if you kept wearing the suit, it would influence how the story plays out, and you gain like special abilities and features by going down that dark path. I wonder if they'll do something like that, or they'll just keep it Spider-Man versus Venom. Like, I wonder how the story will play out as well in the new Spider-Man game, especially since it seems like it's going to heavily feature both Miles Morales and Peter Parker.
You want to know what would be a cool feature they could add in? I know it probably won't happen, but I mean, we've fought a handful of different villains between the Miles game and the original Spider-Man game, right?
Yep.
Why not have it so that there's a random chance that you run into one of those villains trying to do something, and you have like a mini big boss fight, in the overworld. That way you would change up the pace of things. That way the game feels like it's more alive, like there's more shit happening, like, oh shit, like the Rhino just broke out of jail.
Yeah, but then you're kind of like devaluing one of those like big time villains and just a small 5-minute role. It doesn't really feel impactful. in a way. So you gotta find a way to balance that shit out in a way.
Yeah, well, make it so it's only a limited number of times it can happen, right? Make it so that there's like a 50% chance that it happens in chapter 1 or something. Like there's a 50% chance that the vulture breaks out and is terrorizing the city, you know? And it's some players get that interaction, other people don't. And they can make it like a very well in-depth story, you know?
I guess I could see it happen. I guess it just depends on how they make it work in the game and how they can reward people. Because I'm a guy that wants to be rewarded for something. I don't want it to be like simply just a story beat and that's it. I hope there's like some sort of resource or special part you can get when you do something like that and face off against this adversary, like a mini.
Make it so that you get like a unique suit for beating them.
And that goes into another question. It's like, will that suit just be a purely cosmetic, or will unlock a special gear part like it did in the original game?
Make it so like you beat the vulture, right? You gain like the ability to glide through the city with spider webs on your thing.
A glider.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. The rhino, you defeat the rhino, your fucking HP is like tenfold with the new costume.
Tenfold. That's a little bit too broke. You have to add in some sort of negative part about that.
Yeah, but you move at 10 times less speed.
So you're a fucking turtle. No,
yeah. You're a very hard turtle to kill.
Yeah, very hard.
Very rock hard. Oh man. But that's pretty much all the thoughts that we have on those. Do you have any more thoughts on what you think Insomniac's going to be doing with those?
I just hope that the Wolverine game is very violent, very bloody, has a great fucking story, and if it's anything like Spider-Man, then it's going to be a very good game. It's probably going to get a shit ton of Game of the Year rewards. It's going to finally represent Wolverine in the best light possible.
You think they're going to have Hugh Jackman voice acting?
If they did, it's automatically 11 out of 10.
That would be awesome. But thank you guys for listening to us. This has been GT Gaming Dens.
The lobby, it's kind of a short one, but maybe we'll have another one later on. But enjoy your gaming days, bubs.